Tonight in Missouri Capitol Watch, lawmakers are looking to expand the workforce by lowering the employment age. A bill moving through the Senate proposes 14 and 15-year-olds do not need a work permit. Instead, an employer would only be required to get a written parental permission for the child to get hired. Now, some opposed are worried about a potential loophole.
How do we know this is actually happening? That if somebody works there, the age verification, where's that at? Where's the accountability at?
Well, I think the accountability is with the parents and the business owners. The business owners aren't going to make a 12-year-old come into work.
Missouri would be the 12th state to roll back child labor laws in recent years, with much of the pressure coming from business organizations. In Illinois, 14 and 15-year-olds do need a work permit from their school in order to get a job.